Okay, today we're going to be looking at the causes of World War I. Before we get started, I want to remind you to make sure you're keeping up to date with my website. There you can find PDFs of most of the notes that I have. You can also find a calendar for upcoming dates. Don't forget to check your Edmodo accounts and make sure you are up to date on assignments, whatever discussions or quizzes you may need, or any type of posts that I have there for you to know. And finally, you can check YouTube if you can't get to Edmodo for these videos. My channel is under Coach Wall Woodstock. Today we're looking at the causes of World War I. If you have a PDF, you can click on Coach Wall's website on this title page to get to my website. Before we begin, let's look at some key terms that you need to know. Okay? A deep devotion to one's country. That is called nationalism. That is a sense of pride you have for your country. Glorifying military power and keeping an army prepared for war. That is called militarism. Next we have Otto von Bismarck. Otto von Bismarck was the Chancellor of Prussia and given credit for uniting Germany. He was replaced by Kaiser Wilhelm II. The Kaiser was a bit of an egomaniac. They wanted a lot of power. The last two we have are the two alliances. The alliance between Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy is called the Triple Alliance. And the alliance between France, Great Britain, and Russia is called the Triple Entente. Take a few moments to copy those down. Press pause if you need to. Generally, when we look at four main causes of World War I, we can look at four specific things. Okay? These are broad terms, but these are what ultimately leads us to what we call the Great War, or World War I. They are nationalism, imperialism, militarism, and the alliance system. Let's look at each. Nationalism, we already defined it as a deep devotion to one's country, a sense of pride. It creates competition and rivalries. These rivalries came out from the need for materials that we got from the industrial and agricultural revolutions and the imperialism that followed after that. Different countries were going and establishing colonies all around the world, and that just forced everybody to get better than their neighbors. Okay? What ultimately ends up happening is you have these stronger nations that are exerting their power over weaker nations. Same thing with groups. You have different groups that are using their power over weaker groups. And the last thing that helps out with nationalism is resentment from previous losses. The example for this is France lost Alsace-Lorraine territory to Germany, and they were very resentful because of that. Next is imperialism. We spoke in a previous unit about imperialism and what it means. What is it? It's the desire for raw materials, workers, and lands, and that desire increased tensions and competitiveness. People wanted to be more powerful, more economically well-off than their neighbors and their competitors, and so they fought to get more lands, more workers, and more resources to obtain that power around the world. As I said, nations are trying to be more powerful than their neighbors. This creates competition, it creates rivalries, and it creates mistrust. And that mistrust helps lead to the next one, militarism. Militarism is the increase in competition from imperialism. Okay? Or militarism is the buildup of arms. Here, the buildup of arms happens because of the increase in competition from imperialism. Okay, so they're going to build up those arms to try to be more powerful than the next group. So they're trying to protect their foreign lands and investments. Now remember, these colonies are investments. They're providing materials, resources, people, okay, or they open, perhaps the Pacific, they're part of the shipping lanes that they need. Because of the mistrust, because of the competition that's spurred about, the militaristic bodies have to be prepared for a speedy war in case it breaks out. So they have to be ready to go to war almost immediately because tensions are so high all around the world. Finally, the militaristic attitude, okay, those with strong militaries we'll also see a increase in nationalistic attitudes. So the increase in nationalistic attitudes helps to build bigger militaries. And bigger militaries helps to have more nationalistic attitudes, more pride in your country against others. The fourth cause is the alliance system. We've talked about some alliances in other areas of world history. But here, the growing rivalries and mistrust that we see from imperialism and the competition that we see from nationalism and the mistrust that leads to militarism, all that's going to lead to alliances being formed. Now, they were designed to keep peace. Okay? They were designed to keep peace. They were basically showing off, hey, look who I'm aligned with. You don't want to go to war with me because then you don't have to go to war with them. But in doing so, it ultimately leads to war because that's exactly what happens. One group says, okay, I'll go to war with both of you. And then those two have another they bring in, and it creates a domino effect where all the pieces fall together. During the Great War, we have two main alliances. Okay? The two main alliances in Europe are the Triple Alliance. If you recall back to your key terms, the Triple Alliance is Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. And they will go against the Triple Entente. The Triple Entente is Great Britain, France, and Russia. These are the four causes of World War I. Let's review. What were the four causes of World War I? They are nationalism, imperialism, militarism, and the alliance system. That does it for part A of the causes of World War I. Check your Edmodo accounts for assignments, discussions, or any other activities that you need to do. We'll continue with part B in a different setting.